if you're in the circus. Yeah, then they just let you get away with it. Okay, so Maya's only 17 in the first game. By trials and tribulations, she's what, 20? Okay, let's get the F's out of the way. No. Seriously, this might be illegal, because he's like institutionalized, isn't he? Pretty sure that would be taking advantage of a mentally handicapped person. No. Though I'd still take her over Old Bag. No. Actually, you know what? We're gonna give Old Bag that one. Is this, what's her face from the flight attendant? No. Okay, so those are all the insta-nos. That is Cammy. Okay. Old Bag in F? Would you not put her in F? Yeah, it's a combination of dyslexia and just an inability to see very clearly. I don't have good vision. Old Bag? This is Old Bag. That's like actually her name. Penny is definitely not under 18. Well, we have to know her age, right? Because it's normally in the profile. Oh, yeah, this is Morgan Faye. This is Pearl's mom. I keep her higher than the others because even though I absolutely despise her hairstyle, she might actually be mildly attractive. Because her face is, I mean, she's older, but like her face is pretty if she didn't have that fucking scowl on her, fake ass scowl on her face. And also, I give her credit for attempting to seize power. She's a bitch, but she shot her shot. I respect it. Well, yeah, she's good, but why didn't she do anything good with her hair? Okay, all right. So now let's start ascending here. What was her name? I'm pretty sure she's a robot, which means you can't have sex with her. Unless she actually has, like, sex organs, which is kind of a problem when you are talking about a potential waifu. Lisa Basil. Oh, no, Hottie is in a legal tier because you can go to jail for sexually taking advantage of the mentally handicapped. Just depending on what all happens. So that's actual jail. Oh, I think she's an actual robot. She's a robot in my headcanon. That doesn't mean there's any saliva in the mouth or that her tongue is soft. Squirtle all over my face, daddy. Oh god. What a time. What a time to arrive. You just need to have the right USD. I thought they kind of left it ambiguous, except for they kept, like, telling him to go back to his room. That's robophobic. Oh, God. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, like, she's kind of funny in an unintentional way. I hate this hairstyle. I've never been a fan of, like, the, I'm not sure what you call it, but that like straight bang look, whether it be straight across or like down and out, it has to be something similar to Maya's if you're gonna do it, which is like it has its break in the middle. But yeah, just not a fan of that. I mean, her hair color is cool. If I remember correctly, her body, the contours of her body were pretty nice, but again, I think she's a robot, and I'm not sure she has sex organs, and I'm probably not gonna embarrass myself by trying to figure it out. Okay. Speaking of hairstyles, I cannot stand her hairstyle. This is the other flight attendant, right? It was difficult to look at. It was very difficult to look at. Absolutely despise it. She's not particularly interesting. Her sense of design blows. Roland she's got some DSLs on her, which is always a plus. But her love for animals is a problem because I'm like really allergic to many animals. It's just the one dog is enough, and she wants to be around all animals all the time. So kissing her would probably make me sneeze. And even if she has DSLs, if she's around the area of getting ready to perform oral sex, if that fox were to bite me, that would be a problem. So, yeah. Not ideal. She's also just kind of annoying. We're up to C. This is Walkie's girlfriend. She was cute, but like, I didn't find her particularly interesting. I guess one thing that is interesting, she kind of looks like a real fucking person. Like, I have seen somebody that looks just like her in real life, sort of thing. Think about the real make or break stuff. So she was a cutie, just I didn't find much interesting about her. She wasn't a particularly interesting villain either. Bikini seems like she would be a wonderful wife. In terms of like, she seems like she'd always try to keep you in a good mood, because she's always in a good mood. And I'm guessing being a part of like a clergy, she knows how to like cook and shit, because otherwise how would they eat? She seems, well, I was gonna say she seems relatively brave, but that's not actually true. Kind of. She stepped up when she needed to. Problem is, I don't know what her hair looks like under there, and as you notice, hair can be a big deal for me. And she's short. She's really short. My ex-girlfriend, before I started dating my wife, was 5'2", and I'm 6'4", so I can get down with short girls, but not when you're like that short. But yeah, she'd probably be a really good mom and a good wife. Just there's too much unknown about her physical appearance. So yeah, that'd be a roll of the dice there. Alicia would be awesome as like a chef. I would get very rotund if I were married to her. But I hate her rosy red cheeks. I hate her hair. She also seems kind of short. I think her eyes are actually pretty adorable. And she's kind of a snake. She's kind of a fucking snake. Yeah, she was a fraud. She was a fucking snake. I thought she could still make food well, though. She just wasn't as good as everyone else. Or am I not remembering that correctly? She's 4'7". Well, that same height issue is with Bikini there. She did put chocolate on top of plastic. Okay, well then, she's a pharmacist. Do you know what the good thing about dating a pharmacist is? Yeah, that's still bonus points. Forget everything I said about the food, instead focus on the fact that she is a pharmacist. Okay. I'll address Emma later. I mean, it's her, right? Because she was pretty tall and rotund. That's the only, like... Actually, she was kind of tall, wasn't she? I just feel like a lot of the girls are short. Misty? Faye? She sucked as a mom. She sucked. She sucked as a mom. She's pretty, but we got like none of her personality. And again, boy, is she a fucking awful mother. 5'4", and she seemed taller. So yeah. Well, some of them, I'm just putting them up as I like get thoughts about them. There still could be others that fall like down into these tiers later, except for illegal, because I think we got rid of all the underage. How old is Gangster girl. I guess she could be underage, but I'm not sure. I don't think that was really ever... Why is Misty Faye awful? Yeah! She died, and it was like, oh, she died. Oh well. It was a huge letdown and missed opportunity. Was it the first victim? Okay, so this is where we put Lada. Lada actually seems like she might be wild in bed. And she's a very earnest person. Two big problems with her that I have. Her hair is awful. I'm not a fro man personally. I don't like it. Like it more than the bob though. And she can get really fucking annoying. Really annoying. But she is still C tier. I'd still tap that. Who's worse? I mean, Morgan's arguably a better mother than Misty. She would take a lot of pictures without my consent. She's 25. Okay, All right, well, let's just go to my next thought. I'm not sure quite yet. April May is a banger, and she was Red Wife's waifu, and it seems like she did a pretty good job being his waifu, quite honestly. The problem is that she's a little too corny at times, or it's just like, oh god, grow a brain. But, I actually think she's probably a pretty good waifu. Yeah, at least Morgan was there for Pearl. Her whole motivation was to put her daughter at the top. You can say like there's some love behind that, right? No. She's not actually his wife, but like she's a waifu for him, right? That's what I mean. Okay. I forget her name, but I thought she was really cute. Sucked that she committed a crime, but like I thought she was an adorable character. I liked her quirk of she's like always like she was fun. She was fun. Lauren, Penny. I probably like Penny more than the average person. She is kind of plain looking, but I think she's cute. She's pretty good at her job. As you see, she's been moving up. Got her little side pigtail. I think her glasses are cute. She got some freckles. I don't know. I think her character would get a lot more interesting if she simply wore different clothing. She's just like a monochrome character. But she's also kind of a geek, and I love that. So, this one might not make any sense, but it would be really fun, if not problematic, to have a waifu that could literally switch between two completely different types of person at any given time. Her pirate act was, or thief, or whatever you want to call that, was actually kind of hot. And her Russian, her like a passive, submissive Russian, you know, act was, it fooled me. It fooled me. It fooled me. So, yeah, I mean, like, she was a snake too, but she never did anything like say Morgan bad, you know. She's just kind of a con artist. I'm actually not sure if I want her here or here. Probably here. Probably here. She's more interesting than Lauren is. Which one is this, Eni? Or is it the sister? So I found her act very amusing, but I can see why she'd be really fucking annoying. She was kind of hot. It's just that I hate the curls at the end of her hair. Like, straighten the hair out, or like curl it all, like have it all be curly instead of just the end. I'm not a big fan of that look, but her bangs are pretty sexy. I'm also a big fan of that hat. But yeah, she's, the last time we saw Maya, she's very much not illegal, so. Make it easy to, man, see, Scarlet needs to be one. Scarlet's tier list would be a lot more interesting than mine. But yeah, I'm personally not a fan of the curls. But I do think she's kind of hot, otherwise. And I dig the Valley Girl. I think it's highly amusing. Probably not in the best way, in that it's kind of in a condescending, like patronizing fashion, but I actually really enjoy it. Viola. Now, here's the thing about Viola. Being a part of the crime family and being a competent member of a crime family, which I see myself as, I'd basically be Robert Duvall's character in The Godfather. Obviously. So with that comes a lot of potential for personal gain. Honestly, her big thing, her like low-key threatening personality is kind of hot. But her big thing is, I just don't think she's like super attractive. I wonder how she would look without the I just got my head bust open bandages on. She's also really thin. She's like really thin. Probably one of the thinnest characters I can think of. And I prefer my women to have a little more meat to her. Well, I mean, I'm assuming part of the reason her hair looks like that is because it's hard to wash it. Okay, so I forget the name of the nurse. I actually think she's super cute, although this is gonna sound really like self-indulgent, but I really like the personality I gave her, as like she's kind of like a wholesome Midwesterner. I'm also attracted to her because she's a nurse. My wife's a nurse. Obviously I have a thing for nurses. Yo, what's up, dog? Is that her name, Karen? See, I don't think so. Although that could be because that game's freshest in my mind. But I liked the personality I gave her. It made her more memorable to me than maybe she would have been otherwise. Again, that's really self-indulgent and like probably conceited, but that's part of my perception for her, so I can't really ignore it. And it's just, she's cute. I think she's a little cutie. But she also doesn't do anything like amazingly, you know, to put her at the top. The ultimate lucky student for real. Vera. Vera probably here. Vera's another cutie. I can look past the bang thing because I like me an introverted artist, and her hair color is beautiful. The issue with Vera is she's a little too introverted. And it seems like her being a waifu would take a lot of effort. And not saying it wouldn't be worth it, but there are other women here whom I think could be waifu with a lot more natural effort, as opposed to like over the top, you know, gotta make sure everything's okay sort of thing. He has to be Teruhashi style. Because if he is who I think he is, which is a committed psychiatric patient, taking advantage of him sexually could lead to criminal charges. So, thus, illegal. Okay, now we're getting into it. This is probably going to be kind of controversial. I've mentioned this in a prior video, but I don't completely hate Dahlia as a waifu. She's not high up there. There's a considerable risk, but there's also something about it that's oddly attractive, and that I know, it makes me a really fucked up human being, but there's something I kind of dig about it, and that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna bullshit y'all. What would all of his crimes be? I mean, I can't give you an exhaustive list, but I mean, that's fraud, criminal fraud. There's probably something specific about like impersonating a professional medical individual. I would maybe not, but it wouldn't surprise me if there were. How many times have you guys heard me say I want that X person to step on me with her stiletto? It's kind of like a succubus. I am very much into the idea of succubi. If I'm gonna die, at least kill me like a fucking praying mantis. We fuck and then you kill me. That is the best way to go. If you looked at my searches, you'd probably find a way too high amount of instances of succubi being the search term. I don't know. The concept's just super hot to me. I don't know why. It just is. Oh, I fear death too. But if I'm gonna die, fuck me and kill me, at least. Like succubus style. Like, let's have sex to the point where like it's so good that you drain my soul energy. There's got to be worse deaths than that. I'm so glad this is what I'm doing on the night before Christmas. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously considerable risk, so she can't be up here. And quite honestly, I wouldn't tell her this because I'd probably get my throat slit while I'm sleeping, but I'd prefer she lose the braids. I like braids, but not the way she has them. But I do dig her red hair. And she is somebody that would be magnificent to present to your family because they would all think she's amazing. Even though she really wouldn't be. Oh, don't kill me on the toilet. I don't want to die on the toilet. Okay. Now it's starting to get tough. Iris. So even though she doesn't have the bikini problem, we generally know what Iris looks like, right? Because we've seen her without her hood. We've seen Dahlia's body. Iris is an incredibly nice individual. She makes some wrong decisions, but you can tell she really regrets them, and it like eats her up inside. She'd probably be a wonderful mother. She's too passive for me, too submissive. As you can see by the signs I've been giving you guys, I like somebody with some spunk to them. So even though Iris probably ticks off most of the other boxes, she's just too... She's too passive. Oh, it's not that she's not murdered. She's still above her sister. Yeah, I mean, she's good. She just... I think some people go crazy over her, and I know why, but I won't ever understand why. Oh, that's the type of person you prefer. But as somebody who doesn't prefer that type of individual, I can say like, all right, I can list you a bunch of logical reasons why somebody would be into that. But because I don't believe in those things as being attractive traits, I don't understand the feeling behind those reasons. We'll put Courtney in high B. Courtney's hot. I hate her hair. Absolutely hate it. She's a little too self-righteous. That whole goddess of law stuff would get really annoying really fast. She's a good mother. I mean, she seems like she's a good mother, even though she's like really too young to be a mother of a teenager, because that's not usually what would happen in the natural progression, right? She would generally have someone around the age of like 5 or 6, not 13 or whatever what's his fuck was. Yeah, we gotta worry about it. It's illegal. It's bestiality. So yeah, that's what keeps her from being A. But she's smoking. She just needs to change that hair. That hair is awful. Okay. Starting to get into the nitty-gritty here. Cammy's like my one exception for short girls. I don't know what it is about her, but I loved her character. I fucking loved her character so much. And she's cute for a really short girl. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. But something about her just attracts me. I don't know why. How short? I thought she was really short. Yeah, remember the rule. I don't want to know any. I don't want to hear. I don't want to see discussions. Nothing about future characters. That is a spoiler. I don't know. Cammy's the one that I legitimately cannot explain to you why she is where she is, but she is. Now, Angel Star is the type of personality I can get behind. She's confident. She can be forceful. She's got a badass, like, dual eye thing going on when she flips her hair so that you know she's in serious mode. Her lunches seem like they'd be delicious. Her problem, I think, is that we really only see one side of her. So I have no idea how good of a wife is she. She dates fucking everybody. That's a problem. I'm a monogamous man. I'm personally not a, hey, let's have an open relationship kind of guy. That's your thing? Good for you. I can't do it. I'm not a secure enough person to be fine with a relationship like that. But we know she wasn't always like that. I'm trying to extrapolate like her good qualities that she had to have had based on her reputation. But like I said, we really only get introduced to like her worst qualities. Other than apparently she's able to still attract a shit ton of people. I thought the blue badger was confirmed to be a male because they made the girl badger in AI2. Yeah, for me it's not about attractiveness. I'm just not secure enough of a person to mentally deal with that. That's my thing. I wish I were, but I'm not. I'm not evolved enough for something like that. All right, fine. Let's put D here. Another one of the with her comes power sort of thing. She is the type of crime boss wife you want. She's actually kind of sexy. She has some DSLs on her too. Two big issues with her. One, she smokes, which is really bad. Terrible for my lungs, which are already sensitive, my asthma and stuff. And two, she doesn't seem... We don't get enough of personality from her. We get a personality, but her personality is to be stoic, like, kind of intimidating boss. But, like, I don't know what her fun side would be. Would she be great in the bedroom? I don't know. Maybe? But she could just be, like, super basic about it. We have sex. She orgasms. She's like, all right, we're done. I'm sitting there with a boner still. It's like, it doesn't matter because she's done. It's not like I can question it unless she have one of the 4 bodyguards waiting outside come and rip my dick off. Well, smoking in general feels relaxing for people. I'm relaxed enough after sex where I don't need a cigarette. I'm not saying smokers are bad. I just don't have any interest in dating a smoker. Because They generally carry the smell around with them, not only on their person, but in their mouth. And like I said, I have asthma. I have lung issues. I legitimately should not. It would be bad for my health. In that way. I'll deal with it in the whole, she might cut my throat thing, but my lungs, on the other hand, yeah, God forbid I don't finish the job for her. She still might have her goons come in and rip my dick off. So, but she's still up there. The potential is high. I'm gonna put Lana here. Lana's very pretty. Her dedication to her sister is admirable. She has a beautiful smile. I guess the only issue I have with Lana is that nothing about her is, as a waifu, she's like really good. She's like good at everything, but she isn't really, there's not one thing about her that I find to be amazing. If that makes sense. And that's probably because most of the time we deal with her, she's like that cold, standoffish Lana, and we don't really know what warm Lana is like. She was a chief prosecutor. She didn't prosecute anybody. She was more like a manager of the prosecutor's office. So yeah, like that's the thing. She's pretty good at everything. She's just not amazing at anything that like makes me go, oh yeah, Lana's got that thing. But yeah, based on what I understand about the double chief prosecutor roles that they have, because there are two chief prosecutor roles. This was brought up to me the last time I think we talked about this. The English game doesn't distinguish between them, which is a problem because it makes it confusing. But from what I understand, what she became is not, she didn't actually prosecute anybody herself. She wasn't the one leading cases. Yeah, crimes don't count for this because we'd have to cut. We'd have to cut like half the list, right? Because they're in jail. But I mean, you can take into consideration it as a part of their character, right? I don't think there's anything that says she had to have prosecuted before. At least not that I remember. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're pretty in agreement here that we've established that they haven't done anything that could be deal breaking. We've kind of pushed that aside. That's why I could even praise Morgan Fay to some extent, even though she's, you know, for games 2 and 3, she's like the overarching villain. Okay, next. Man, this is getting really tough, you know? And I think some people are not gonna like this. It's not that she's still A tier. Maya has a few problems going for her though. She is a ride or die type girl, got your back for whatever. Obviously very caring about Phoenix and her family. Generally good taste in food. And she has a great sense of humor. One of the issues that I have with Maya is that I can't see her as more than like dating her and see her as more than a best friend. I don't know what type of role she'd be able to play as a wife. And that probably has something to do with her immaturity. She has a lot going for her. She's super cute. Like, I compare her to everyone else that's down here, and I'm like, whether or not they're like good people or not, they sort of like know what they're doing. They act their age. Except for Francisca. So like, I want to put her higher, but I can't have all of these people in S tier. That's too many. Yeah, but okay, but here's the other reason why this is still very difficult for me. I felt that way about my wife. My wife and I were best friends for 2 years before I started dating her. And it was kind of hard initially to get over that. But eventually I did. So like, it's definitely something that you can get past. So that's why I don't like using it as an excuse for like holding somebody like Maya back. Well, yeah, but you know, yeah, in a 7-year gap, really, I mean, it's a bigger gap. The younger they are, the bigger of a gap it is. When somebody's 47 and 40, that 7-year gap it doesn't fucking matter anymore. I mean, hell, my parents were 27 and 21 when they got married. My mom was 19 and my dad was 25 when they met. It just depends. Like, for a lot of people, it really doesn't mean anything. Lamoir is pretty fucking sexy. The problem I have with Lamoir is she is wait, one other thing to say about Maya. She gets accused of murder way too much. That's kind of a problem. She's a magnet for, like, annoyance. Yeah, she literally gets a frame for murder, like, just a magnet for that. Yeah, Lamoir is super fucking sexy, but holy shit, was I incredibly frustrated with her general approach to things in that case. Some of the decisions she made, it's just like, why would you do that? She seems like she would be kind of frustrating in that regard. She's very caring. She's very considerate. It's just she makes really bad decisions that make no sense. Yeah, but I don't think you can simply say, aside from Pearl shipping's in there for a reason. You don't just arbitrarily put that in there. As like, oh, funny joke, oh. Like, that would be very lame writing if that were the case. Like, I definitely, if the writers are worth their salt, it means something. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what has to happen, but there has to be some feeling of romantic tension that actually exists. Otherwise, it's just a lame joke. Okay. What was her name? Madam, what the fuck's her name? Catherine Hall. So yeah, Catherine Hall is super pretty. She's apparently a wonderful singer. Her whole motivation is that she cared deeply for the man that took her in and, like, took care of her. A little shisty, but again, that's just, you know, that's a matter of her, how she carries things out. But I think she's fucking gorgeous. I'd stare into those fake eyes all day. I guess one problem I have with her is she seems a little too nice at times. Like, it comes off as a little fake sometimes. And it's not fake like Dahlia fake. But it's like, this is just presentation. It's like, be more you know? So that's kind of a problem I had with her. Because I guess it's not a very memorable name, even though she's kind of a memorable character. Well, that's the thing. You can, like I said, you can make it so that both Iris and Maya could be, in theory, love interest. There is some tension there. There doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to actually happen. Just because Iris was there in the way that she was doesn't mean she is Phoenix's canon love interest either. But they're going to exist in someone's life. Double hidden. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, there's no real, like, concrete answer to it, as far as I've gotten, at least. Okay, these are all, well, yeah, these are all gonna be S tier. Just get that out of the way. I think Nicole's super fun. I love her spunky attitude. I think she's really hot. Downsides, she's with Lana. So you're gonna have to deal with Lana too. It seems like she'd be more interested in getting a story than being with you, which is kind of a problem. Also, she kind of has that same shiesty side that Lana does. That, like, oh, I might use some underhanded tactics to get the story that I want. But I don't know, she's a fucking babe. I love everything about her look. She's got courage to her. I don't know, I almost assuredly 99.9% sure that I'm super overrating Nicole Swift, but I love her character. At least I have more, like, explanation for why I like her than I did with Cammy. I still don't know why I find Cammy so high. So Yu's an attorney, so that's obviously, I find that attractive. She's got some DSLs. I think she's just hot. Her personality I find really amusing. Her problem is that, yeah, she's kind of a psychopath. That's a problem. That's a problem. If only we could get past that. At the same time, though, being one of the 3 pillars of the Yatagarasu is also super hot. But yeah, I loved her character. I was a big fan of her character. And glad that she had, like, an ultimately, like, huge role in the first Investigations game. Man. Now it's starting to get really tough. All right, my masochistic side has won out. Maggie is, if you picked the most adorable character in the entire game, it would be Maggie. Adorable in, like, a romantic way. Not like, of course, Pearl is adorable, but as a child, you know, you're like, oh, you're so cute. But just, like, she exudes adorableness. She probably reminds me the most of my wife out of all the characters here. And her reappearance in Investigations 1 just made her even more adorable, if that was even fucking possible. But yeah, she would bring you bad luck. That is a problem. That's something you cannot avoid. Like, just be like, whatever, I'll deal with it. She also seems to, like, be one of those people who are like, romance. Like, she can't think of it seriously. Because even when she was with that dude, she was like, no, it wasn't like that. Like, bruh, come on. Just admit it. It's fine to have romantic feelings for somebody. It's not a problem. Yeah, she's a part of the most pure ship in the entire series. Bar none. Bar none. Gumshoe and Maggie is the most pure ship. But yeah, The thing is that she's not like super fucking like dead sexy, but she's just really cute. Everything about her look is super cute. I love Maggie. Problems. I mean, you got the luck thing. Again, it seems like she has a romantic immaturity problem, which, to be fair, a lot of these people do. Like, at least I presume that they do. Like, Francisca, I think, definitely does, for example. But that's just extrapolating based on other information we know about her. We've actually seen this sort of romantic immaturity from Maggie. But, yeah, she's got to be able to hold on the job, too. She keeps bouncing around, and that's kind of problematic. Okay. Desiree's a fucking banger. And, like, I love that you meet her, and you see her with Ron, and you're like, she has to just be, she's just taking advantage of him in some way, right? This isn't fucking, there's no way. There's no fucking way. Turns out, she does really love him, and that's amazing. Like, she's a really good person. She spends a shit ton, but she's not like that gold digger where it's like, I'm just with you for your money. She, like, truly cares about Ron. And wants him to, because if he had like an estate behind him, because he like saved up money and he were to die, would she be like, oh, whatever, I got his money? No, she wouldn't be like that. She'd be super sad. Her whole like ride fast, die hard sort of way of life is hot. Her design, she is a fucking banger, and I really enjoyed her character in that it was a complete swerve from what I expected in a very good way. Ron is a very lucky man. Yeah, they're awesome. I love them. I love them together. The biggest problem with Desiree is we meet her once. We don't really get a ton from her in terms of like Ron loves her, obviously, and it's not just because of her looks. But like, I don't really know much else about her. Like, would she be a good mother? I don't know, maybe not. Like, are there other things that she could do really well as a partner? Probably. I assume anybody that drives a motorcycle like her is probably a dynamite in the sack. I don't have any reasoning behind that other than they like thrill. Yeah, we saw them, but we didn't get anything new about her personality from that, right? You could talk to them, but we didn't learn anything new about her. Okay, Mia is pretty much the complete package. She's super smart. She's super sexy. She was a great attorney. The things I didn't like, the downsides to Mia didn't really come about until after she died. Other than the fact, in addition to the fact that she's dead, because that's a problem. That's a problem. But like the way she went about certain things and like how withholding of information she could be cast a bit of doubt, just a tiny amount, on her personality because they just were baffling decisions sometimes. Like it was like where she took over Maya's body once when Maya was in prison, and she just wouldn't tell you the information. And I'm like, why? If I don't get this information, your sister's fucked, right? It was very strange. She has some weird quirks to her personality that I don't really like. Other than that, she is a bombshell of a person. All right, we got to put all the dead people in illegal. Let's see, one. She's probably dead. She's probably dead. She might be dead. She is dead. She might be dead. I don't know, is Roland gonna die? Maybe. did I have her? I think I had her here. Fuck, where did I have D? She was an A somewhere, but I don't remember where I put her. Oh yeah, Dolly is dead too. Oh, boom. Okay, so Francisca and Adrian. I love both of their character arcs. I especially connect with Adrian because I've been through similar types of emotional challenges as she has. And like due to that, end up coming off as a cold person for a prolonged period of time. I think they're both hot. I'm probably one of the people that would be fine with Francisca's whip. In fact, she'd probably stop whipping me because I'd ask for more, and she'd be like, well, this isn't doing what I want it to do. I know this is probably weird, but Francisca's little mole next to her eye is just so fucking cute. Adrian does not seem to have that sexual immaturity or romantic immaturity because we know she's been in romantic relationships before. And whereas Francisca still, has Francisca ever? Is she even interested in romance? It's kind of like Edgeworth. Edgeworth is just like, what? What is dating? Well, I don't exactly know how my mother and father created me. I just never thought about it. Like that's what it seems like. Francisca's the same way. But because he's number one, Edgeworth is a truth sexual. There you go. So for that reason, because otherwise, like, physically speaking, like I said, they're both hot. You could easily make an argument for both. Adrian, they also both have the short issue, but I definitely overlook it for these two for a lot of other reasons. Adrian just seems like so much more of an adult, especially once she overcomes like her problems. She's able to she goes to prison and is still able to reinvent herself afterwards. That's really impressive. Not everybody can do that. That's just how impressive of a person she is. She's super cute. She's funny. I love her sense of style. Except for the color of the pants. I like the pants, but not the color of the pants. Is that like teal or something? Aqua? It was weird. So that's why Adrian gets the top spot over Francisca. But it is very close. Because, again, I know some people were like, but Francisca abuses me. Yeah, she does. And some people have kinks where that's not a bad thing to them. Don't shame them. Don't kink shame me. That ended up being a lot more in depth than I thought. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me address this real quick. So the reason why Emma's down here is because this is Emma from 1.5. This is 16-year-old Emma, so she's illegal in this context. But if we were to assume she's 26-year-old Emma, she's probably here. I think she's fucking hysterical. She's very pretty. I love her sense of style. I love her surliness. And I really empathize with her being in a career where she's like, I hate this. I fucking hate this. And it's written so well. It's written so fucking well. Hey, no, you ain't got a joke about that, Marie. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, if we're talking about 26-year-old Emma, this is where she'd be. She'd be above Francisca. I love Emma's character. I would love for us to see Manfred von Karma's wife at some point. In fact, that's just That might be needed. That might be needed.